David as king of Israel, he organized 4,000 Levites, paid them salaries, set them up for 24/7 worship, organized them in 3 groups, and raised 3 leaders over the 4,000. Korah, Dathan, no, Jeduthun, yeah, and Korah. And those 3 leaders, they divided the 4,000 into the 3 groups for 8-hour watches. First group, 8 hours non-stop prayer and worship. When you finish, the second group, 8 hours non-stop prayer and worship. When you finish, the third group, 8 hours. That was what David instituted as the king of Israel. It's called the tabernacle of David. David instituted that for 40 years. For 40 years, there was an unbroken 24/7 worship. If you have read the history books of Josephus will tell you there was a literal glory cloud that was hanging over the nation of Israel in the days of David. Sir, there is a grace that is coming to the church, and there are many who are already operating on it, of 24/7 prayer, 24/7 prayer worship. Sir, Kingsley anointing is an anointing that raises an army of men, where there will be non-stop heavenly invasion of prayer and worship until the whole of that region and territory comes under an open heavens. Sir, we don't have open heavens because every man of God is facing church. John Alexander Dowie had that. That's Kingsley anointing. He built a city, 24/7 praise and worship and prayer, and there was a glory over that city. Samuel, he was the first person who did that. When you read about Samuel, he said his house was in Ramah, that was his altar, and he used to go in a circuit to Bethel, to Shechem, and all those places were the Bible colleges that Samuel, ever before Elijah came and established the schools of the prophets, Samuel was the first. And Samuel had 5 schools of the prophets. Those schools of the prophets was not Bible college for theology. Those schools of the prophets was for 24/7 heaven invasion, to bring the nation of Israel under an open heavens. That thing that Samuel did is what Elijah picked it and put it. That is also what David did. That is king. And God was so happy with that thing that David did, that thousands of years later, when David has died, God was still talking about the tabernacle of David. Acts chapter 15 verse 16, and God said, I will yet again restore the tabernacle of David. When will he restore? Now the world has come to an end. Sir, he will restore in your days, in my days. Yeah, he will raise men and women with the Kingsley anointing, men and women who will raise massive prayer armies. Man of God, if you don't have a prayer life, you can't raise a prayer army. You raise a prayer army on the back of your life on the altar of prayer. I provoke your prayer life. Receive a fresh fire. Receive a fresh ignition. Receive the grace to be a walking, talking, fasting, praying machine. That is how all over the nation of Nigeria there will be prayer camps. There will be prayer camps, and there will be 24/7 prayers, constance, going to the presence of God, and entire regions will have open heavens.